Okay, hello there. Welcome to my channel, Life, Home, and My Linux Journeys. I'm Dennis. Today, we're going to talk about Alpine Linux. As we'll see here, I am running Alpine Linux. It's Alpine Linux 3.21, and I'm about to upgrade that. So, I'm going to do another video, and then I'm going to upgrade this, and that way I'll know if it works or not. Anyway, it even picks up my VGA to HDMI adapter there. This is Xfce, the desktop. Only 418. Now, when I upgrade, that's probably going to upgrade to 4.20. And I thought, what better way to actually install it, what better way to install it than to install it from Alpine Linux being the host. So this is going to be your home page right here, alpinelinux.org. Gives you a little information about what's happening here. When you get ready, you're going to go to your downloads here. The newest release was released May 30, 2025. It's 3.22. And this is the one I downloaded here, the x86_64-bit, and the extended version, only because it's going to have a few more packages that could just make the trip easier. But you can see they got one for a VirtualBox, a mini root file system, Raspberry, standard, and netboot. So you click on that and you'll get your download. If you're going to set it up in a VirtualBox, you'll probably do it pretty much like I'm going to do it. But when you get ready, here's the handbook, and it goes through the typical installation. So let's see, installing. Quick mode means you run setup Alpine-Q. That's going to not give you quite as much. We're not going to do that. We're going to run setup Alpine when we get to it. So I'll make sure these links get in the description, and I'll have a much broader view of Alpine Linux on the next video. This one right here is going to be dealing with only the installation. So I can just close these out, I think. I'm going to use boxes, gnome-boxes, instead of VirtualBox. I click up here and say add, install from a file, in my download, the Alpine extended. Now I did have the downloaded, and I didn't have luck with it. Now I don't know, that could have been something I did, but we're going to select that ISO, the extended ISO. Operating system not found. Type in Alpine 319. Confirm that. Alpine Linux 321. Let's do that again. Closest I can get is 320. I am going to step up the RAM and give it 4 gigabytes. 4 gigabytes of RAM. And storage limit, we're going to increase that to 34 gigabytes. Let's create it. Alright, this is the boot menu. And I actually like the way they do this here, where you can actually see what's happening. When you get your installed system, you can see what's mounted, adding, started, what have you. So right here in the instructions it says, well, it don't say it. Sign in as root. There is no password. Now you can see by the hashtag there that we are in root mode. The command right there, it says you can set up the system with the command setup Alpine Linux. So let me clear this, and then we're going to run setup Alpine. First thing to do is the keyboard. Mine is US key map. Keyboard layout is going to be just no US variation. Enter the host name. We're going to call this, we'll call it Alpine. The interface here. Now, here, if you're installing on a hard drive, in my case, I only had Wi-Fi. So it did pick it up, and it actually used it. But here, in a typical, it's going to be the ETH0 or Ethernet. We're going to use DHCP, and I don't need to set up it manually. There it's reaching out to be online. create a password for the root user, retype it. It's going to tell me it's too short. Now here, if you already know what zone you're in, you can just go ahead and enter it here. So America, Chicago, enter. I'm not going to use a proxy. Now here I'm going to go ahead and number C, it says community repo enable, or enable the community repo. And I'm going to do that instead of going into the file itself and editing. There, it's done. This is going to take probably longer than the whole installation process, and I'm going to type in F and press enter, and that's going to find and use the fastest mirror. Now, like I said, this is going to take a minute. Now, depending on your internet speed, obviously if you was on the hardwire, this would be incredibly a lot faster. That didn't make a lot of sense. Okay, now if you just hit enter here, you're not going to have a user. You'll have to add that later. But instead of that, I'm going to add my user right now, and I'm going to type in a username. And then it wants a full name, or a, yeah. Then we're going to give it a password. Too short. Bad, so sad. Now, I'm not going to enter a SSH key right here, but if I was setting this up as a server, chances are I'd have a SSH key, and this is where you would add it. So I'm going to say none. I'm going to use OpenSSH, that's chosen by default there. Which disk would you like to use? Now here it's VDA, so if you just hit none, it's going to install it on your RAM. But if you type in your hard drive, then you're good to go. And this one is VDA. Would I like to use it as sys? Now if you do a question mark right here, if you hadn't already looked and seen what these do, you can do a question mark. About a little less than halfway down the screen, this sys, this mode is a traditional disk install. So as far as the VirtualBox goes, this is a disk. The following partitions will be created on the disk: a boot if necessary, file system as root, and a swap. So I'm going to type in sys. Those links will be in the description, so you'll be able to read these with more definition. So I'm going to type in sys and press enter. Erase the above disk, it's going to say yes, or type in Y and press enter, and just like that, we're now installing. Mount boot, VDA1. I also might add that this is actually a spinning hard drive, not a SSD, so that's going to be a little slower. You can also encrypt your data, enable encryption with the crypt setup, and ask again for the sys or data. You can do crypt setup, LVM, logistical volume manager, LVM data. Okay, so we're almost through here. It's going to tell me to reboot. There it is. Installation is complete. No errors. Please reboot. So let's do that. And I think boxes will take the ISO out of the system. Now you can see the stuff that it's starting, mounting. Okay, there we go. Now I had a user. Let's sign in as a user. There we go. Now I'm going to sign in as a super user. SU space hyphen and enter, and then do my password. And the first thing I'm going to do is APK. That stands for Alpine Package Keeper. APK update. And I'm going to go ahead and do them both, so it would be APK upgrade as well. And everything's good. Okay, so now I'm fixing to set up my desktop. And I'm going to use Xfce. So before I do, I'm going to run this command. Set up Xorg base. Now I wouldn't swear that this step is completely necessary, but it certainly won't hurt, because you're going to get some stuff that you may not get just by installing the desktop. installing Wayland lib server, so you may not even get that during the Xfce install. Lib input, library input. Now, in the handbook it says that we got Intel and AMD U code. Alright, so now I want a desktop. In order to get a desktop, there's a simple command. Set up -desktop. And it's going to ask you immediately which one of these desktops do you want. Now be careful here because it says Xfce, but it does not say Xfce4. So just keep it at that. It offers GNOME, Xfce, the Mate, Sway, LX-Qt, or no desktop. But we're going to go with Xfce and press enter. While that's doing that, it's going to take a minute. Let's look at my menu real quick. Under accessories, GNOME disk is available, mousepad, screenshot. I had to actually install screenshot. I did make a list of all the applications that I have installed, and I'll make sure those get included on the next video. Under education, since I got LibreOffice, that came in. Under games, I got a few games to occupy my time. Under graphics, Blender, GIMP, Inkscape, Krita, LibreOffice Draw, and Nomax. Under internet, I only have two, Firefox, Qbit Torrent. Don't need anything else. I might install Chromium. Under multimedia, Audacious, Audacity, Celluloid, Cheese, Deadbeef, Kdenlive, OBS Studio, Parole Media Player. None of this was installed by default, and we'll see that on this when this system here gets through. Volume control, PVU control. So 87%. Let's get back to my menu here. Multimedia, we just went over. Office, the LibreOffice suite. I do not have a PDF viewer yet, but I'll get one. Settings, all that's normal. System, we got boxes, Fedora Media Writer. That's one thing I want to say is Flatpak is available. So here we go. We're through installing our desktop. Since I'm here, let's go add some programs. Fast fetch, htop. Actually, let's do an update. Alright, clear the screen. APK. See, htop, dbus. Okay, I think that's all I need for now. Now, we missed it a while ago, but it did actually add LightDM to the run service. So let's RC update, RC-update, add dbus. So that'll start when we reboot. Alright, so now we're ready to reboot. And even on a virtual box with limited resources, you'll see this is fairly quick. That was too fast, but it did say starting some services there. Give it my password. And voila. Wonder what happens if I make that full screen. Nothing. Let's go in application settings, display. See what options we have here. 16.9, that'll be perfect. Okay, close. And there you go, that's your Xfce desktop. Now, by running these, set up the desktop, or set up -desktop, you add a lot of stuff that you're going to have to get on your own. And when I do my next video, I'm going to show you how I originally tried it and how much software that I had to install that was not installed. Here, at least you got some stuff that is installed. Let's look through real quick here. Accessories, app finder, bulk rename, thunar. Internet, you do get Firefox. System, htop. I added that. About Xfce. Now you'll say this is 420 here. My other one on the desktop itself, it's 419 or 18, and I'm gonna have to update that. So let's see, we got fast fetch, and we got empty hyphen. Let's see, audio. You'll see there's alsa already here, but you're gonna have to add some pulse audio stuff, and I'll go over that. I've already made a list, and I'll make sure on the next video we get that installed. Alpine Linux 3.22, that's the new version. Let's see, htop. Won't you look at there, 260 megs. That is nice. And it would be a lot less if I didn't have a desktop installed. So this is Xfce420, Red Hat GPU. Not sure, pair of virtualization, that's what it's using, I guess. That's going to pretty much wrap this up. Let me log out, shut down. Well, are you going to shut down? Yep. Close out boxes. And there we go. That's how you install Alpine Linux. And I'll make sure those links, web links, get in the description below so that you can read them for yourself. It's really, really very straightforward. You saw that I didn't really have to know anything except for the sys and mem and all that other stuff there. But if you read it, you'll know if you're installing this to a drive, then you're going to use sys, I would guess. So that's going to wrap it up for this little video. I'll catch you on the next one. Peace out, guys. Bye.